Welcome to Sunday School episode 10, and today we are getting into thoughts and reality creation. And I want to touch on this because I've come to realize that this can be very confusing for people who are new on their spiritual path and learning about reality creation and energy and frequencies and thoughts and feelings and how it all plays into creating our reality. So I know a big thing that a lot of people say is thoughts create reality. And I want to let you know that thoughts do not create reality. Reality already is. You have to think of reality in just energy and frequency and vibration. Thoughts are energy, frequency, and vibration. So it's not necessarily that thoughts create reality, it's the fact that thoughts align you with certain frequencies and place you in certain experiences and situations that match the energy, frequency, and vibration of your thoughts. So, because many people don't understand that, they think, oh, if I think this specific thought, then this specific situation is going to happen, in which it can. But more so, again, what typically happens is you get matched with situations that are of the same energy. So that's how you have someone who may say, oh, I haven't been sitting around just thinking about getting into a car accident. I haven't been thinking those specific thoughts. Who would think something like that? But you may have been having a lot of thoughts around fear or just fear of driving, or you may just think have a big thought process or thought pattern that bad things always happen and that life is hard, and if it ain't one thing it's another type of mentality. So if you're on that frequency, then something like getting into a car accident will match that frequency to validate your thoughts and your beliefs and put you back into that frequency of feeling like something's always going on. If it ain't one thing, it's another. So that's where it gets lost. And people say, well, thoughts obviously don't create reality because this exact thing didn't happen, or I wasn't thinking this exact thing, but I had this experience. It's because the frequency of that experience matched the frequency of your thoughts. Okay, so even if you feel like you're just starting to have a more abundant mindset, and even if you're specifically thinking about being rich and having more money, and then you go out and someone pays for your lunch, a complete stranger just decides to pay for your lunch, that's a form of abundance. It may not have came in the form of somebody actually put money in your hand, but it came in the form of someone paying for your lunch. You didn't even have to come out of your own pocket. You were able to keep your money in your pocket and have someone else pay for your lunch, and then you could take the money that you did have and use it for something else. So it makes it easier when you understand this because you don't get so attached to trying to specifically think certain thoughts. You mostly start to feel what frequency you're on, what vibration you're on, what feeling do the thoughts you think make you feel, instead of focusing on specific thoughts. Because as long as you're in a certain frequency, those experiences will show up for you to match that frequency. So when you're starting to realize this and you go into intentional or conscious creation, you're starting to flip your thoughts, you're starting to flip your beliefs to match the frequency of what you do want to experience. And typically, this is when people start to call you delusional and you're detached from reality. Yeah. Because in order to create my new reality, I do, in a sense, have to start detaching from this reality, which means I'm going to have to start thinking differently and believing differently, which is going to look, crazy to most people because most people are just reactionary. They think and feel based off their circumstances. But when you start to move into conscious creation, you don't think and feel based on your circumstances. You think and feel based on what you desire to experience, what your goals are. And that's another thing about our emotions. We were typically taught that we're supposed to react and respond to our emotions. Our emotions are a guidance, they're a guiding system. They are what lets us know, again, what frequency or what vibration that we're on. So it's not meant to necessarily give into the anger or give into the rage or give into the sadness or even fully give into the happiness, because I'm pretty sure many of us have been feeling like we're on a high frequency, we're feeling really good, and then you go and try to express that to someone and they're not really receptive, they're not as happy or excited as you are, and you're like, well, what's wrong with them? Well, because that's your happiness, your excitement. It was really just a reflection of where you are and how you're feeling. So it's not necessarily for you to go and, project it out to someone else and expect them to feel the same way you feel, because they may not. So use it as a guiding system. So people may ask, well, how do I know if I've shifted? Like if I'm a person who has been thinking, that life is a struggle and things don't come easy to me. How do I know if I've truly shifted into feeling like life is easy and things do happen naturally for me? The thing is, we're shifting all the time. This is really not new information. We're shifting into different vibrations and frequencies every single day, all day. We're just not aware of what's really happening and what we're doing. So if you're at work and you're irritated and frustrated because a coworker or your boss done pissed you off, and then later on that day you go out with your homegirl or your spouse and y'all have a good, date night or whatever, y'all having some drinks, y'all laughing, you having a good time, you're in a different vibration now. You're feeling different. You're feeling good. You're having a good time versus earlier when you were at work and you were irritated and frustrated and ready to go. You was in one state of vibration at work, and now you're in another state of vibration while you're out with your peoples having a good time. Ta-da! You shifted. It's not hard. It's not something you have to learn to do because it's something we naturally do. We just haven't been taught what it really means and how to more so pay attention to see what state of vibration that we are in. So that's how you know you've shifted. One, you know that you're already doing it all day, every day. You just need to pay more attention to yourself, how you're feeling, what you're thinking, um, and start to make the conscious choice to shift. If you do notice that you feel like you're in a state of vibration or thinking certain thoughts that doesn't align with what you desire, then you know it's time to consciously make that change and make that shift. And sometimes it's not about going to the extreme, because if somebody is really upset, they may cannot jump to like pure bliss in a second, especially if you're just starting out. It's like those frequencies are so extreme apart. If you try to jump over there, you're probably gonna get a bounce back. So most times the best thing to do is to just put yourself in a neutral state, to kind of just focus on diffusing the anger or the frustration that you feel. Just focusing on peace maybe at the moment, just letting that anger have time to fuel down, and then once it does and you feel like you're in a more calm, peaceful state, then you can start to elevate your vibration by going into the thoughts and the frequency of where it is that you want to go. Okay? So I just want to drop that nugget onto you guys. Focus on yourself. Focus on the frequency. Focus on the vibration, because you're going to be matched. The universe is the perfect matchmaker. It will match you to the people, places, and things that are of like vibration to you. So I hope that helped you, and I will see you next time for episode 11.